So now we are on to my makeup, guys. Excuse me if I'm a little bit disorganized, but I'll get it figured out. So I think the first thing we can start with is my childhood. Let me talk about that a little bit, and I'll share as my heart leads me to. And I'm gonna do my makeup at the same time because I gotta be ready in a little bit. So my mother was a single mother of three, and she was married, and the husband had moved to like a different location, and he moved to like a different town due to a job. Ended up getting married and ended up meeting another woman. So, that happened. Let me move closer so I can see myself. There we go. So he switched towns, locations. They both end up meeting other people. So I came after the divorce or whatever. My mother, 2 daughters, 1 son. My brother went to live with his dad. And me and my sister stayed with my mom. My mother was a single mother. And she never really had relationships after that. So it was kind of like me and my sister a lot of the time. My mom was at work. She would work 2 jobs. It would be me and my sister in the house. And, of course, we were 2. She gave us, we had our duties. We had our responsibilities. And, I don't know how I want to say this. We had our responsibilities. Our mother, I'm kind of struggling with what to share. I'm just mixing 2 foundations together. I'm struggling with what to share, you guys. This is what I say when I say that it's hard for me to share how I feel, because I want to be careful about what I say about my mom. I don't want to bash her or anything like that. But, so yeah, basically, okay, my mother, it was me and my sister. We would be home a lot, and my sister was the oldest, so she was in charge. But I also, being my size, was mature as well, because people just would take me to be older because of my size. So I was mature in some ways as far as knowing what to do and making sure that I got my chores done, making sure that, I can't say that my homework was done because that wasn't my favorite thing to do. It's dark. Oh, guys. This might look horrible. Okay. Okay, that's a little bit better. Okay. You guys, that glare in the background is killing this video. So, yeah, my mother was a single mother. My mother and her mother had a strained relationship, and I never really knew why. And the backstory was that my grandmother was mean to my mom. I guess she wasn't the most loving and nurturing person to my mother. And in turn, my mom turned and did the same thing to me. She wasn't the most loving mother. She wasn't affectionate. She wasn't the type of mother who, would sit down with me and teach me things. The environment in the house was that, we had our chores. We knew what we were supposed to do. And we were expected to do those things without having to be asked, regardless of what age we were. We were supposed to know what was supposed to be done and just take the initiative and do it, even as kids. And so, I had an unhealthy fear of my mother. There was a lot of times where I would need something, or I would want something and I would be too afraid to ask my mother, so I either would not ask for it, or I would either try to push my sister or brother up to do it, into which that would work sometimes, but not all the time. So, I kind of grew up in an environment afraid to ask my mother, afraid to question anything, afraid to express myself, afraid to speak up. I had a troubled childhood, if I'm honest about it. I was a problem child in school, especially once I got to middle school. I was a class clown. I always had to be the center of attention when it came to jokes. I was like the distracted one in the classroom. I think I kind of despised authority, and I don't know where that comes from. It could either be from the relationship with my mother, or it could be from a lack of parental guidance in the house because my mother used to be at work, or because she just kind of gave us our duties and we knew what to do. So I think at some point it became annoying to me to have an adult who would constantly like be on your back or constantly supervising, because I was not raised that way. Like, I knew what I needed to do and I knew how to get it done. And even till today, that's something that I truly, truly, truly struggle with, because just my mother, she was not that mom. My mom had to work 2 jobs because she had us to take care of. And so we knew what we needed to do. If we did not do it, we would suffer the consequences. But my mom wasn't the type to like be on our back or be on our tails about anything. We just knew, and we were so afraid of her that we would get our things done. Like, we might not do it in the time that we were supposed to, but if we were gonna do what we had to do, because we didn't want to feel her wrath. My mom was she had not a bad attitude, but her anger was scary. And so that has caused me to kind of, I don't know how I want to say it. It kind of, okay, so I hope this is not rambling too much. But basically, I recently found out that I'm codependent. And I think that my codependency may come from, oh, that's too high. I think that my codependency may come from my mom's volatile temper when she was raising us. So, there's a lot of things I'm discovering, and I want to talk to somebody about it. And I kind of feel guilty because you feel like you're throwing your mom under the bus. But at the same time, if it's the truth and if it's going to help you to be able to get past your issues, or help you to be able to have better relationships with people, or help you to be able to speak up and speak your truth, then, it's beneficial. But I kind of, I feel guilty being on here talking about my mom. Oh my God, I feel so guilty. Because she was all we had, but at the same time, nobody is perfect. No one parent can, raise a child. Well, I can't say that, just in my opinion, no one parent can be the all for their children. It's just not possible. We were not designed to be single parents, and we were not designed to do it alone, and we were not designed to have to raise children by ourselves. That's not how we were created. So, even if your mom can do the 100% best that she could, something is always going to be lacking, because we live in a broken society. We live in like a broken world. So, yeah. Oh, my allergies are so bad. Yeah. So, I hope this comes out looking decent, because I'm doing this in the camera. This Jack. Girl, listen. Just slap some makeup on and go. So, so my mom didn't really have time for me. And I just was expected to know things automatically. So it was a lot of things that were not taught that I am later learning. I would not socialize, I would like my mother would go to my grandmother's house, and my sister then would be at my grandmother's house, which was like not far from a neighborhood park, and I would stay home. I would like stay at home and just be like in my own world while everybody was gone, just like being by myself, because I found it safer. I felt safer being alone for some reason. There was some things that happened in my childhood, my relationship with my mom, my relationship with the neighborhood kids, my relationship with family members, just with strangers, because my grandmother's house was kind of like, my grandmother was that person where people would like just pop up all the time, and just, I did not, I've always been overweight, so with my weight, with my birthmark on my forehead, the size of my lips, like people would always comment on my appearance, and maybe that's now why I'm so obsessed with makeup and making sure I'm not obsessed with my weight and like losing weight, because I've always been big, and even now I'm really really big, but like I've always been big all of my life. That doesn't bother me, although what okay, let's talk about that. What did bother me about my weight was not my weight, but what people would say about me, because I never knew that there was a problem with me being my size, because I've always been this size. So it wasn't that I hated myself, it's how people treated me, and it's what people said to me about being this size that caused all of the insecurities I have today. Because I remember I used to be, back in the day, I used to be so confident in myself, and people would never understand it. And it's only now within the last couple of years where my self-esteem has just started to shrink and like just go down, and it's probably because of some things and some choices that I made, but like I just, like, low self-esteem was never in my vocabulary. That was never me. I always felt confident, because I don't know, I just did. I just did. So y'all, I don't know where I'm going with this conversation. This is like a layered story, you know, layered story. Uh, but yeah, like, you guys, this is a layered story, and I don't know where I'm going with it, and I don't know how I want to finish, so I probably shouldn't have never started in the first place. This is what I say, like, I get stuck sharing my feelings. I feel like it's, oh, guys, I got problems. That's the bottom line. I got problems. You know, I don't know how to truly say how I feel from my heart and not feel regret about saying it. Like, like I don't allow myself to feel my feelings. I just barricade myself, and while I put on all this makeup at the same time, I don't even like the attention I get from it, but I know that, society expects it from me. I can't be big and sloppy. I have to be presentable to the world. When I do this stuff, it is about vanity. Let me not lie. It's about vanity, but it's like after I put it on, I forget that it's on. So many things I want to share. I just don't know where to start. Yeah, that's pretty. I said I wasn't going to do a lot, and look at me. Ugh, that's irritating. That's fine. I'm not gonna do a lot. I'm gonna do this and do some highlighter, and I'm done because I gotta call my girl in a minute. Oh, I didn't put it. That's cute. I have to call my sister. Me and my sister fell out a while ago because, come to find out, she's bipolar, and I didn't know the characteristics of being bipolar. And we went out one night on her birthday, and she got real out of line, and I couldn't help her to get back in, and I asked her to get out my car. And ever since then, my relationship has never been the same. But I was only trying to control the situation. I didn't know how to, and I thought that if I asked her to get out the car, that she would calm down and chill, but she didn't. She actually got out the car and would not get back in, and end up leaving with like some other people. So it was like, oh, it was crazy. You know, it's a lot going on in my family. A lot. We dysfunctional over here. So yeah. Yeah, and then it's like, you know, I see the dysfunction and I'm like, okay, now how you deal with it. And I feel like the psychiatrist or the counselor I was talking to was not that she's not helpful, but I wasn't getting what I needed. I mean, she's helpful in some ways as far as what my marriage was concerned, but like for the issues that I'm identifying that I grew up with family-wise and everything like that, I don't feel like I was getting the best help in that. And so I gotta find somebody to talk to, y'all. I got problems. And I don't want to, I want to grow, I want to learn, but it's hard. You know, it's so hard, y'all. Doing the work is hard. What y'all talking about? It's kind of, you know, and one thing I used to always pray about, I'm rambling now. One thing I used to pray about is like, God, don't let me grow up and be an old person who don't know how to change. And that's exactly like what I'm doing. I was like, I would pray, God, don't let me be an old person who gets stuck in their ways. And now I see the truth. Well, maybe it's not the truth. Maybe it's just my perception. But I see. This light in the background gonna kill it. So yeah. Girl, I don't know if I have dirt spots. But yeah, y'all. This is the end of my video. I don't know what I'm talking about no more. It's the light signing out.